will grab all the spots and I will put them in a gobo. I try to get the one closest to open white so it doesn't roll through everything, especially if they're two different wheels, which I believe shatters. There we go. I'll take that one and I'll record it into the fader next to it, and it's a static gobo. But I won't just stop there. I'm going to put a whole bunch of gobos on one page, on one fader. That way I can bump between gobos all night long if I have to. 3 gobos is more than enough for this effect. If you try to add all 10 gobos in that a light has when you're punting, you'll get lost. So I picked 3 of them close to each other. I don't pay much attention to gobos unless I'm splashing them on scenery. I think if you're breaking up the light beam, whatever the most nice amount of holes that looks the nicest breakup, that works for me. Spending hours going from one gobo to dropping it out of a wheel, putting another gobo in, looks like sloppy programming. So if you pick gobos that are next to each other, it's usually more efficient. And again, I take ones that don't do anything, because now if I'm just doing this and I'm bumping between gobos, it looks like a cue. I can go forward, backwards, like this and get a great effect. Typically, next to that one, I will then take rolling gobos. Spots, if I go back to open, that'll open those up. And I take the gobo and I put them in, let's see, my favorite gobo of all time is the tri-wing right there. When you spin that sucker, it looks beautiful. And spin. Oh, well, I've inadvertently found the gobo roll. While I found that, I'm going to explain that. That's a great effect too. I put that in a fader by itself as well. And I'm just going to record that into here because I like gobo rolls, personally speaking. And again, if I don't make this 0 time, it'll get to me later because I'll take 2 seconds to get through the gobo. Again, if I hit open, it'll stop everything. If I hit gobo roll, it'll roll through all the gobos in the wheel continuously. Back to the static. So now I've got one rotating gobo. I'll be honest, that's all I will use in this show, is this one rotating gobo. If you feel like it, you can make stacks of others. If it's a slow band or somebody like a Barbra Streisand or something, sure, you might want a lot of gobos, but if you're just punting a 45-minute show, one spinning gobo should be enough. Because now, if I decide to go into an audience bally here, and I put some color in, you'll see the gobo spinning through everybody. And it looks great. It breaks up every pattern, and it's good. If I want to take the pattern out, I simply do that and clear. And there we go. Spin patterns, or these are my static ones. And again, if I take this down and just have my spots up, you'll see them spinning there. I open it up, I've got a gobo roll through all the gobo patterns, or I've got a spinning gobo, or I have static gobos. And I can bump between those static gobos so that it never looks the same. And that, fellas, is pretty much it on the punt page. One last thing to do is each song, as I'm done with the song, I will fade down everything and immediately bring up some light on stage. So even if it's just a blue wash, you never want to leave your act in the black, because they're turning around, they're swapping guitars, or they're looking at set lists to see what the next song is, or they're simply following the band leader who's about to start the next song. If there's no light, they can't see. So I bring that up. As soon as I bring that up, I reach over here. I throw the lights in a focus position, any position. I grab them a color. And that way, as soon as I'm ready to go, I lift these up, pull that down, and I have a look. Same thing again. I'm going to all of a sudden get to the last cue of the song, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, hey, here we go. Here's a high outlook. Everything fades and go. I bring up my wash. I pig release, or international term for get everything out of there, including gobos. I'll hit a focus, I'll hit a color, and then I'm ready to bring up some lights with the Grandmaster. And there we go. When I do that, I can bring my Fresnels down because I don't need them, and I'm ready to go. Now, the next beat of the song might say, hey, we're going to slow it down. So I'm going to just say, hey, I'm going to move this, and I'm going to go to Congo. And I go, my Congo wash. So some lights moved, and now it takes 4 seconds. And then as soon as they get upbeat, I'm going to want to change color and say, head and intensity chase. And then all I have to do is bring up a fader, and I'm right there. I'm in a chase. I want to stop the chase. I'm just going to pull one chase down and lift this up. It'll stop everything. If I had a third hand, I can say, okay, I'm going to start the chase up again, but I'm going to change color really quickly to white when I do this. And go. And then when I want to stop it again, I'm just going to go and pull my chase down and bring something else up and go. Bam. And then we have that. And you'll go, okay, at least I'm lit. I'm not sure quite where I am, but as soon as there's another change, I know all I have to do is that, and I'm back into the show. Now, as soon as they pick up to a chorus, I'll say, hey, let's go to a brighter color while I change focus, in which case I'll just do this, go. And then I can be bumping colors like this, and we're going to go back to a verse. I'm just going to go, bam. And we've got that. Back to a chorus, I'll go bam. And I've got to move. Now I know I'm about to go into a wild part, so now I want a white ballyhoo. I'm going to go bam. I'm going to do a white and hit the ballyhoo at the same time. At the same time, I might want to throw some strobes in there. Bam, bam, bam. Or my atomic strobes and just hit those. And as soon as I'm ready to stop, all I got to do is hit a color and a new focus, and go. And we stop. And you just go with the beat of the music. And then you can get, okay, I'm bored. Let's go back to this odd even thing. And you're bumping along going bam, 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 bam. Everything on, bam, 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 bam. Everything on or step. Bump, 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 bump. Bam, 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 bam. Bam, 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 bam. Similar things like that. The most important thing after you set your punt page up is take an hour and start playing around so you know where everything is. You have these cues, you've written down 30 different things that you can do in the show, but if you don't know where they all are, you'll be just as lost when the music starts. But chances are you have a couple hours till you need to see it. So you figure out what's the difference between an intensity chase or a flicker chase. The flicker, they never go all the way off. They just look like movement. That's a great way to get movement. Notice that you don't have to move lights to get movement. Just by bumping color like this, it looks like it's moving. More like this, if you're flickering, it actually looks like the lights are moving. Or you can flicker while you're ballying. And then you have the lights going fast all over the place while you have a chase. That's another great desired effect. Or they can be moving and you're just doing this, and you can still see lights moving, but you're changing the intensity going on and off. And that pretty much is enough here to get us through what we have to do. The only thing else I do is I usually make 2 pages of these. I have a fast page and a slow page. One page will have all the colors going in no time. The next page will have all the colors changing in 2 seconds time or something. And that's pretty much how to write a punt page in under an hour. I think that's it, fellas.